Welcome to the Bearcats Den with President Taylor. I'm Ivy Taylor, your host, and for today's show, we are welcoming our new Director of Athletics, Mr. Jarvis Stephen. Welcome, Jarvis.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, actually, this is home for you because you're a Rustite, you're a Bearcat, class of
2002.
Class of 2002. Okay, well, we're really excited to welcome you back here as the Director of Athletics under the tutelage of Dr. Ishmael Edwards, who will be retiring in June. So tell us just a little bit about you as a person, your upbringing and background, and what led you to Rust as a student.
I grew up in a single-parent home, but my father and my grandfather, they own their own construction company, pour concrete. So I did a lot of that all the way up to my 12th grade year. Played basketball from my 9th grade year at Overton High School to my senior year. Got recruited by Middle Tennessee State, but the head coach, he passed away. Coach Stennis actually visited our school looking at another student athlete, but at the same time, he passed out applications to everybody on the team. And I told my
move.
Yeah, exactly. And I told my mom I didn't want to go to school. I was going to go to Southwest, Memphis, Tennessee, but she was like, no, if you go to, I told her I was going to get a job as well. She didn't want me to do that. So I came here probably the second week of freshman orientation. And I've been here. I played here. I was here 5 years. I played under Coach Rodney Stennis. It was pretty cool. And went and played a little bit overseas in Mexico, Colorado, Kansas City. And I just came back and started really dealing with children, and that's pretty much it.
So tell us a little more about your years here as a student. What was it like here as a student, both as an athlete and as a scholar, and what was memorable to you about the Rust experience?
The most memorable moment was my first year when I didn't go to class and Dr. Edwards told me I couldn't play basketball my first year. And I cried because Coach Stennis made me come to practice every single day. And I had to get my books. That stuck with me for so long because they taught me how to, I had to do my job in order to play. And while I was here, it was fun. Coach Stennis made it feel like we didn't have a want or need for anything. I felt like we was at a Division I school, even though it was Division III. The only knock on that was we never was in a conference. So we had to get voted in every year if we had a winning record, not like, the young athletes now, we in NAIA and the GCAC, and they have an actual conference and they got an opportunity to make it far. But man, my rush years was awesome, from, classes to parties, and
You pledged Omega Psi Phi here?
Yes, I did. And
Okay.
then my fraternity, a great organization, the Kappa Beta chapter, the Cyro chapter, they're awesome. Great men in their fraternity as well, and they kind of guided me through the process as well.
Okay, fond memories then.
Yeah, very.
And Dr. Ishmael Edwards looms kind of large because he taught you that important lesson early on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So from there, you went overseas?
Yeah, I went and played in Mexico for a little while. I played in Kansas City, Colorado Springs. And then my wife ended up, she was, my baby mama at the time was pregnant. And and I came back home to visit. My agent called me. I was supposed to be going to London. And he told me he got in a little trouble over there. I didn't know what it was, but he gave me like $120,000 signing bonus. So he just told me to stay here. So I ended up staying in Oxford. And I ended up working at Holly Springs Primary for a year and ended up at U Villages, and that's how I got in the school system.
Okay, well that must have been really disconcerting to have to shift gears pretty quickly when you thought you were going over to play in London. But did you always know that you wanted to be in a leadership role in coaching?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. It was crazy my senior year. I normally don't stay on campus. We normally, go wherever we're gonna go. It was a church that came up here, and they used to take us to the lake. They fed us and they did everything for us. So this lady stopped me, and she, right in front of the cab, and she said, God got a plan for you. I don't know what the plan is, but it's going to be an awesome plan, and you'll know it when it come to you. So, and once they hit me, and I worked at youth villages, and Coach Dennis called and said I done did enough at youth villages. It's time for me to start giving the kids something, you know, they can appreciate. So that's when I got the Cherokee and started coaching girls at Hamilton Middle and so on and so forth.
Well, let's talk a little more about today's youth and some of the challenges that they experience. Now, youth villages, is that a place where young people who are in foster care live, or tell me about it?
Not necessarily foster care is for young adolescents that's been going through a lot. Parents, it might be a mental health issue, or they don't know how to act in school, so they really just come to youth villages, and they have a 90-day evaluation where they go through it and they take medications, and they counselors are there on site to kind of diagnose them with what they think is wrong with them, and if they work on their treatment, they can go home. If they don't, then some of them. I was there with a couple of them that was there from the age of like 12 to 18.
Wow.
They had been there already.
So what was your role there? What did you do?
I was a lead teacher counselor.
Okay.
I just pretty much, you know, counsel the kids on the courtyard, probably from 2:30 to 10:30, 3 times a week, and 16-hour shift on the weekend.
So tell me about what some of the challenges are that you see young people facing based on that experience and your time working in schools.
Oh man, it's the pressures of the outside world as far as social media. You know, they have to some student athletes, students, they build themselves up to be this, and that's not what they are, so they have to keep their image. And the pressures on them of trying to just, and some of them just don't know, you know, and instead of listening, and they think they know it all. So it's kind of a struggle, you know. You have to lead by example. You almost got to be perfect in front of them. And now, like what I do since I've been here, I just show them a different me. You know, it's okay to be in a professional standpoint, but at the same time, you can spruce it up how you spruce it up. You just, you know, and it kind of, they enjoy it. You know, the girls are following me now, doing a little snap thing on my quote unquote drip every day. so it's kind of fun though.
That means how you dress, right?
Yeah. How
okay.
I dress, you know, yeah.
Making sure I keep up.
But yeah, that's what they've been doing. You know, they started Friday and they said they're gonna do like a 7-day thing where they just they get my drip every day, and it's like, oh, I like them, and you know, but it's just showing them that I'm a part of what they're a part of. You know, and it's okay to be here, but it's something outside of Russ College once you leave. And I spoke with the young men on yesterday, and I told them, Coach Dennis used to always say, what are you going to do when the ball stop bouncing? You know, and that was just something to put on their brain at the time, because they just think it's about basketball.
So tell me about that transition and that decision you made to move from, you were working in the K through 12 space, coaching in middle school and in high school most recently. So when you learned about this opportunity, what was attractive about it?
It was Russ College. You know, there's no better place to go back than your alma mater. And especially coming behind somebody like Dr. Edwards that's been here 50 years. I was sitting there yesterday, I was like, he's been here 50 years in the same spot, you know. So it was a long time, but to kind of do some different things and build it up, because I was once a student athlete here. It just, the colors they bring out, you guys got the new logo. It's pretty cool. It's not the old one, you know. So, and it's more appeasing and appealing to, you know, to the student athletes. So it was no hesitation. You know, I applied for it, and I was praying I got the opportunity to come in and, you know, do a heck of a job here.
Well, you said no hesitation, but you did confide that you're missing out on the opportunity to coach your son.
Yes.
So tell us about him and your family.
And my son, he's 14. He'll be 15 tomorrow. Yeah, and he's in dire need of this four-wheeler. I don't know, but I was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" He said, "A four-wheeler." But he's a hard worker. I just wanted to give him a fair opportunity, you know. And a lot of coaches I feel don't do that. They have their favorites. I'm a different type of person, and you got to earn what you get. And he's been earning it since I've been coaching him since the first grade. But he get an opportunity to play for someone else, and I pray that I pick the right situation to put him in, and he'll be okay. My daughter, she's 18. She's been trying to get to Bartlett High School for the longest, so we're gonna make that transfer happen so she'll get an opportunity to run this year. She runs track.
Okay.
We just got a phone call to have a visit at UT Martin on the 22nd of February. That's her first official visit. And she's excited about that because she was getting a little discouraged because in track you have to literally run in a meet to get your times in order for them to recruit you. So
and everything's been canceled.
everything.
Yeah, my daughter runs track too.
Oh yeah.
She was very disappointed last year when, you know, the season basically got canceled.
But she'll get a chance to run this year, right?
She will,
That's
she will,
awesome.
but
Yeah.
she kind of lost a little bit of her mojo with, you know, ending so abruptly and then moving, and she hasn't really connected with any trainers and coaches and such. So I need to follow up with you on that as well.
Yeah, we got all of that. My wife, she's the spearhead of everything. She makes sure everything is rolling between all of them, you know. And my son, he's at home now. He's not feeling well, but he said he wasn't feeling well. He's feeling quite well now. And my daughter, she's at the house, so she do an awesome job at what she do as far as keeping everything straight. You know, she's our backbone in the house. You know.
Well, you need that family foundation in order to be able to be successful professionally as well. So when we come back from the break, I want to hear more about what your plans are for the athletic program here at Russ College.
Cool.
We'll be right back after a brief break. Please enjoy this selection from the world-renowned Russ College a cappella choir under the direction of Dr. Arlandra Harvey. Welcome back to the Bearcats Den. I'm your host, Ivy Taylor, and today's guest is Mr. Jarvis Stephen, our new Director of Athletics at Rusk College. Welcome back.
Hey, I'm back.
So let's talk about your plans. I know right now you're kind of in learning mode. Dr. Edwards is planning to leave June 1st, and so you're having the opportunity to sit under his tutelage. But first tell us about your preparation for, as far as your experience with other sports beyond, people may focus on basketball, but tell us about your experience with other sports and then your thoughts about the program here at Rust.
Well, my experience with the other sports, coming from Ridgeway Middle and Hamilton Middle, it was more so of a 18 to 16 staff, coaching staff, over 300 students at Ridgeway Middle, and it was more so of kind of leading by example, because I was the head coach of the boys basketball team, and the way I was preparing my boys, I used to meet with my coaches and sometimes the student athletes to kind of set that tone right then of my expectations of the whole entire program. And so it was pretty easy. It was kind of rough at the beginning because, of course, people are not used to change.
Yeah.
But once you're exemplifying what you want to see, then it's kind of hard for them not to fall in line.
Okay. So tell us how that transfers over into this role. What's your kind of general philosophy about the athletic program and what you want the athletes to get out of their experience?
Just represent the institution. You're a representative of your parents, but while you're here, you're representing Rusk College. That's whether you go to Walmart, quote unquote McNasty's.
They still call it that.
Yeah, Alabama, Arkansas, wherever the place, wherever we go, I just want them to represent the school to the fullest, because you can't get those years back. And anything that happens, of course, they're going to say it was Rusk College track team or Rusk College volleyball team that was doing it. They never will say one person.
So tell us about your observations about our program and where it is and where you'd like to take it.
Right now, it's going in a fairly, good direction. The way I want to take it, I just want to build them up. I want them to be more appeasing. Student athletes want to see it. They want to join it. Kind of like a fraternity. You see the colors of a fraternity. You see them. Well, you see us hopping around our gold boots, the royal purple. It kind of catches your eye. For sororities, AKs and the Deltas and Zetas, and you kind of see that type of thing. So with the athletic program, I want to do the same thing, build up some things in the gymnasium, give them more options to what they want to do. I'm looking forward to trying to bring a swim team here as well as a football team here, and building up the track program to where I think it should be.
Okay. Now, football, that's definitely a conversation for the future.
Yeah.
It will require an infusion of lots of money.
Right.
I do recall, I hated when the topic came up when I was mayor, because I had some folks who tried to get the LA Raiders to San Antonio.
Oh.
And my philosophy was they can come as long as they don't mind playing in the Alamo Dome. But that really wasn't going to fly, and a stadium costs $1 billion. Now, I know we're talking on a much smaller scale, so I shouldn't be intimidated because I was facing that. But no, again, it's a big decision that we would have to think through. I know many people would be enthusiastic about it, but we will want to make sure that we would have robust financial resources to support something like that. However, I am interested in your thoughts about a swim team. We do have a pool. It needs some upgrades, but what are your thoughts about that, about swimming?
It's a sport that we don't know anything about, and a lot of our student athletes can swim. So you can put them in a competition, and it's even better, to network and get out and see some other things like other programs have to offer and build from it.
One thing you didn't mention as a sport we currently have is tennis.
Yes.
So was the tennis team active when you were a
They
student?
were. They were. Coach
Okay.
Stennis made the basketball players play tennis because he was the coach of tennis. So it was more
Okay.
so. It was fun though, and it seemed
Mm-hmm.
like every school we played against, whoever played basketball played tennis, and
Okay.
they coach was the tennis coach. So it
Okay.
was pretty cool, you know, and it's real competitive. I met a young lady yesterday she said she enjoyed the campus, she liked it
Mm-hmm.
here, and she coming in to play tennis.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool.
Okay. All right. So you think we can build up a competitive tennis program here?
Oh yeah, we have all them tall basketball players. You know
Mm-hmm.
the taller they are, the more heat come off that tennis ball. You just have to teach them how to hit it.
Well, I'd like to get out there. I always wanted to play tennis. I've never taken a lesson or anything, but anyway, maybe we'll get to that. So, what are some of the other things that you'd like to do as far as the sports program is concerned, and how do you keep the athletes motivated academically?
Just giving them different challenges. You know, Coach Ennis gave us challenges when we was here. You know, and some of the challenges were like he wanted us to get a 2.5, but we had to maintain a certain challenge. He gave incentives for you know the top scholar athlete on the team, and that was like a monthly thing we did. Really just conversing with them and seeing what they having trouble with, you know, while they're moving ahead to get adjusted to the college life.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have had a chance. You've only been here a little more than a week, so, but I do believe you had a chance maybe to meet a few students. What have been some of your observations from the students you've interacted with?
They are very energetic, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
they seem like they're very happy to be here in their own little world, little music, and they going all day long. But it's been fun to engage with them, you know, watching the growth. Their interaction with adults are pretty cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They are very respectful. I haven't ran across one that I've seen, even when I was just walking down or in the room that was being disrespectful. And they're, like I say, it's Russ College. They making the best out of a bad situation at this time due to
With the
COVID.
COVID, yes,
Due to COVID.
yes,
But
yes.
other than that, I like the energy.
You alluded earlier to the conferences that we're in. Would you talk a little more about that for the viewers? Because the setup was a little bit different when you were a student athlete. So will you just talk about the differences and maybe the advantages of the situation we're in now?
What a difference between NCAA conference is they have so many stipulations and boundaries that you can't cross or you can do to participate in a Division One, Division Two, or Division Three program. But NAIA and the GCAC, they provide. I think you have to have a 19 on that ACT, 920 on the SAT. You have to be on the good part about it. All you have to do is be on the top half of your class, graduating class. So if you have 100 in your class, all you have to do is you have to be at 50, and you can get in and participate. And then the other part is just having a 2.0 grade point average once you graduate. And that's the benefits of NAIA, you know, prior to NCAA. And I think it's a lot more easier and lenient to get in than it is NCAA school.
Okay. But again, it is important for us to motivate the students, even though they may not be starting out as high with the academics. So, what are some of the strategies that you think you'll employ? You talked about incentives. How do you plan to keep the students engaged academically?
Really just tutoring, meeting up with the academic advisors, and I have to sit down with the young ladies one day next week and put some things together as well. But I think the biggest thing is having an open door policy where they'll feel comfortable just going or better yet, just setting up a meeting and calling on Zoom if they're having a problem with a question or anything dealing with their class. Because the men basketball program, they do their tutoring like around 3, And when I was with the girls when they sit in their practice, they do theirs right after practice. He'll give them a time at like 5:45, and they have to, I guess, go eat lunch and then come back, and they all go to tutoring together. So it's pretty cool, and I think that's how you keep them on the up and up. If everybody's together, sometimes that team learning is better than that single learning.
Right. And one last topic, we've been talking about competitive sports. What about intramural sports? What was it like when you were a student, and what are your thoughts about that now?
Well, we only had one sport. I was talking to Dr. Treadwell about that this morning in our meeting. We had kids, like Coach Stennis' recruitment was crazy. It was like 175 student athletes to come in just to play basketball. So by the time basketball kicked off, they've made them a whole team just to play in the intramural basketball. But I want to do a 7-on-7 flag football, softball. I want to do intramural softball, intramural baseball. Baseball, not so much. I probably do co-ed softball. That way everybody can play and they can have fun together. And might throw a little tennis in there to see where they at. They might be out there like you. They never played. Might just have a little fun. Hit the ball over the fence.
You think the students be willing to engage?
Anything different. Anything
Yes.
different. They won't look at it as a challenge. It just be something different, but it's fun. Now, if I give them a book and say, hey, let's read these, that'd be kind of iffy. But when it comes to sports, co-ed, it can be co-ed kickball, co-ed, no, they'll do it. They'll have fun doing it.
Well, it sounds like there's some exciting times ahead here at Russ College under your leadership of the athletic program. We're very excited to have you as part of the team, and I really appreciate you being on the show today.
Me too. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.